Hello. I am now in Mexico City and I've been agonizing over all this footage I have from Merida, and I decided I'm going to take a new approach to this one. So instead of it being a travel vlog, I think we're going to go with comparing and contrasting two very different pyramids. The first pyramid's super famous. It is the Chichen Itza in central Yucatan, probably the most important city for the Mayans, and it also happens to be the most popular pyramids to go to in Mexico today. The second structure is the pyramids at Uxmal. Now Uxmal is not as well known, but the architecture there is just as magnificent as the Chichen Itza. And I'm just gonna roll the highlights, and then we'll come back here and I'll unpack the way those two areas made me feel. We don't talk about feelings enough, so that's what we're gonna do here today. The city of Chichen Itza is dominated by a central pyramid structure called the Pyramid of Kukulkan. And the question that sat with me the entire time is, what caused thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to build and maintain a structure like this massive temple? What animated them? And I think the answer has something to do with what makes things sacred. That question kind of sat with me as we went to the pyramids of Uxmal a few days later. And we're back. Uxmal was fantastic, by the way. I definitely enjoyed it more than the Chichen Itza. And they had a lot in common. So they both had these huge pyramid structures that were built, rebuilt, and extended over the course of centuries. They both had clever solutions to water issues that they handled differently, but they had solutions. They both had the famous Mayan ball courts where they played their sacred games. And yeah, there's tons of similarities between these two cities that were separated in time by over 500 years. Now, Chichen Itza was the most important city to the ancient Mayans at its peak. And so it's definitely a lot larger, a more built up area, and its central pyramid structure is larger as well. Now, its proximity to Cancun also poses a specific challenge in that they needed to make the place available at scale. So they have something like 3 million visitors a year. And in doing so, it feels like we've snuffed out its inherent sacred quality. And you might be asking, what is the sacred? I believe that sacred experiences and sacred locations imbue us with a very specific type of energy needed to navigate the seemingly endless ambiguity in our life. There are two great truths that contribute to all this ambiguity that we face regularly in life. The first one is life is so meaningful. Literally every decision we make, every step we take has dire consequences to the rest of the world. The other is the seeming meaninglessness of it all. I mean, we're just small humans on some random rock in a galaxy. I mean, Carl Sagan said it way more eloquently, but you know the quote. To navigate those two truths takes a great deal of energy. And the sacred has traditionally been the way we did that. So back to the pyramids. The Chichen Itza was once imbued with tremendous sacred energy. It was the animating focal point for the entire civilization. But now it's all gone, and it's tough to find 30 seconds of peace there where you're not being sold to or you're not being jostled by a crowd. In Uxmal, it is a bit better. We get a glimpse at the sacred because it still exists. Like, the remnants of it are still there. Turns out though that the temple of Kukulkan was built on top of a cenote. And cenotes are a portal into the most sacred spaces of the Mayans. In peering into the deep blue abyss, we saw the vast interconnectedness of life. Millions of years of geological activity coupled with millennia of biological evolution and the centuries of human activity that went into making the cenote. It was an incredible experience. Jumping in makes you build the courage that you always knew you had. Swimming through the cenotes cleanses you of any fear you might have felt and anxiety. All in all, it was the best experience we had at Merida, and one that we're gonna carry on for a long time. Damn, that was deep. Almost as deep as the cenotes, which can get up to 100 meters. I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of selling the cenotes now, but they're free to go to. Most of them are pretty accessible, so I'd highly recommend a trip there. Anyway, I gotta go home. I will talk to you in the next one, and see ya.